Good. Everyone. Today is Monday, July 14th, 2025. Today for Tuesday, the 15th. All right, let's go. Well, as far as new setups, let's stick with this NAGE for now. It's getting a little deep in the pullback. We'll get to that in just 1 second. Mixed data portfolio overall. We'll get to that too. Here's the NAGE. Getting a little deep in the pullback. I still like it, but obviously you want to wait for an entry in this particular case. Let's take a look at the portfolio, and then we'll pop out to the overall market. BTM kind of flatsville in here. KGC up a little bit off its best levels, I should say. I'd like to see this one break out. Obviously, a not look back for a while. KTOS, not a bad day there, closing at all-time highs. TFPM off a smidge, better than the poke in the eye, I suppose. And VG, a little bit of a disappointment coming back in. Still looks pretty good longer term, though. Let's take a look at the overall market, and we'll drill down a little. First of all, S&P 500, up a smidge. Really not a whole lot to get excited about. Narrow range trading. We're just kind of digesting these recent gains, or walking off that overbought condition, whatever metaphor you want to use, I suppose. But so far, it looks pretty good. You can see nice little breakout remains intact there. Take a look at the NASDAQ, same sort of action happening there too, up a little bit today. That's enough to keep it right at all-time high, so I'm not going to argue with that. So far, so good there. Rusty, bring up the rear. Well, not a bad day after all was said and done. Bit of an opening gap reversal, still below some of this overhead supply. Obviously, I want to see it get through that and not look back for a while. Cybersecurity turning back up after coming back down to test its recent breakout. So as long as it stays above these levels, or these breakout levels and above, it's okay. But if it comes right back in, then obviously all bets are off. Gold, the commodity, down a little today. Continues to consolidate, he tried to say, by trading sideways. Longer term, I did have caffeine. Longer term, it does remain in an uptrend. Let's take a look at gold stocks. Gold stocks tailed higher but came back in. They're just consolidating for now. I wouldn't read too much into this just yet. Longer term uptrend still intact. A lot of areas still strong, like uranium, these rare earths. Decent day there, not too far from brand new highs. Platinum, the metal coming back in. Longer term uptrend obviously still intact there. Palladium also coming in a little bit so far. You can see pretty massive uptrend remains intact there. Pot stocks, a little mixed, but they continue to look like they're bottoming out. Some overhead supply to deal with along the way. Take a look at the fits. Bam, winning, accelerating to brand new highs with a little bit of vigor. So we could see some new setups here, obviously fairly soon. Biotech up a little bit. Still has a lot of overhead supply, but hasn't been saying quite a bit. I am seeing a lot of strength internally within the sector. I would say it's one of the biggest areas next to gold in the Landry 100 at the moment. What else is happening? Cloud computing still has a lot of overhead supply to deal with. Again, routine one day at a time. There's a spot. Uranium doesn't look as good as uranium stocks. These alternative energy stocks have been kind of bottoming out as of late, but they've got tons and tons of overhead supply, so I would stay away from those guys for now. Dollar's been a little strong lately. Longer term, still a downtrend, but short and medium term, it has been bottoming out, so we'll have to see how that all shakes out. Take a look at the metals and mining overall. Off a little bit, but just off of these brand new highs, so far so good there. Let's take a look at Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin hit that 123 level. Actually, let's see what the high was. 120. Nope, not quite 124. Everybody got excited, and then they began to tail off, of course. But this breakout does remain intact. We had nice Landry light. We had a little bit of resistance to overcome, and so far it's broken out. So we'll see what happens there. But so far, so good. Bots, a little bit of an opening gap reversal there. Still below tons and tons of overhead supply. So it is somewhat mixed still internally, but overall things continue to improve, especially within the sectors themselves, such as biotech, for instance. I think that's pretty much it for tonight. If you have any questions, you know the routine. Everybody have a fantastic night. We'll talk tomorrow. Thank you so much.